Alrighty then. Now that that's all oh, that's loud. There we go. Eh, eh, eh. Welcome, Warlord. Welcome to the stream. You're the first contestant of the Price is Right or something. Yeah, nice of y'all to make it. I'm thinking of just keeping the streams at this time because 10's just a bit too early, which is weird because I get up at 7. But 10's just a little bit too early for me, honestly. But yeah, how's it been? I bid $1. The correct answer is 99 cents. So that is a overbid. Oh man, do you want to stay with me while I try and figure out what Moth Chaser's voice is for like the next 20 minutes? Cause yeah, that's what I have to do because it's Moth Chaser's bit. And honestly, I feel good enough to start doing it. So yeah, I'm gonna try and figure out what Moth Chaser sounds like, because I honestly don't have a clue. It's been so long since we had Moth Chaser. Since we had Moth Chaser in the booth, so let us see. Da-da-da. Ah, last Moth Chaser was right after the Everfree chapter. Um, Military cadence? Let's see. Let's see if I'm right. Oh no, it's the wrong input. Hold on. I gotta talk over myself real quick while I change it over. There we go. Welcome, Farfalla. Every time one of the tertiary occurring characters come up, hey, just because it's right doesn't mean you have to point it out like that. Alright, where is... I just need to find it in... So it's not military cadence. Is it the end of fibrous diet? But yes, welcome Farfalla. Farfalla. Farfalla? Falafel? Falafel. I think that's... My week's been actually pretty decent. Uh, well, most of my week's been pretty decent. I've had... It started out fantastic, and then I got a little bit sick. I think it was just a stomach bug or something I ate, because it only really hit me Wednesday, and then I was recovering from it Thursday and Friday, and then I felt good Saturday, so that's nice. And then Friday I had the whole day off, which meant I spent a lot of times doing nothing, and then I although I did go and finally see the FNAF movie with my nephew, he's been waiting to see it for over a year since it came out, but his mom wouldn't let him. So now he can. And so that's what we did for his birthday, and that was fun. He really liked it. I was worried I was overhyping the movie a little bit, and now we're waiting to go see the new movie in December. And And then after that, Saturday, also pretty much did nothing the whole day. I don't know what it is about me and having days off and that I don't do anything the entire day. But then I had a work party later that night, and that was pretty fun. They had a Fear Factor thing, and I got halfway through the competition, and I'm so glad I bowed out pretty early. I say pretty early, halfway through. I made it all through the dried bugs, and as soon as the live bugs hit, I'm like, nope, I can't do it. Also, welcome Seth. Welcome V. It's yes, I know how to pronounce your name, Falafel. It's fine. You're a falafely good guy. Or gal, or neither. I don't. It doesn't matter to me. I know, but yeah. So that's been my week so far. And today we had a bit of a lazy day. Although I did make sausage and oh, what was it? Biscuits and gravy. I made biscuits and gravy this morning. And honestly, I might not make the gravy part again. I mean, it was great, but I want something that's slightly more filling. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying biscuits and gravy isn't a filling breakfast, but that's kind of where I'm at. I might change it so I'm using the biscuits part to make like a copycat version of the Wendy's breakfast, like honey butter biscuits, chicken biscuits, because that's like cocaine. It's great. I wonder how many of these kids really know the lore of FNAF. Honestly, when I was talking to my nephew, I'm surprised he's a fan of the series, given he's never played any of the games, watched any videos of people playing the games, and seen maybe like two things of lore videos from game theory. I'm like, huh, interesting. I think he might enjoy it now that he can actually like indulge in the games, but yeah, I was like so flabbergasted because I was like in the lore from like day one, and he doesn't really know it, but he really liked the movie, so I'm glad for that. No, he hasn't read the books, and honestly, I'm kind of glad because from what I've heard, the books are more disturbing than the games ever are. Just got dinner. What I miss? Well, you missed me recounting my entire week. Which, honestly, if you're eating dinner, that's probably a good thing. We did Fear Factor at a work party. It went about as well as he expected. Fear Factor at a party to go. I heard the Silver Eyes books are good. Honestly, I tried to get them when I was younger, and for whatever reason, I think it might have just been my um, my Kindle app being glitched on the tablet I was using at the time, but it would only let me get the demo and never buy the actual book, and I have no idea why. I mean, the books are all about the lore of FNAF. Yep, I can't wait for my nephew to learn about Fazgoo and Felix the Shark. Yeah, there's a lot of dead kids in there. I honestly, I haven't read the books either. I was there like 60 of them? 70? I don't know. Oh, speaking of books, I made one. Well, I didn't. I didn't write it. I just made it look pretty. Also, welcome, All Star. Let me pull up. Let me pull it up. If my computer would load, I don't know what it. Oh, oh no. I think I might know why it's having issues, and I hope that me closing things won't cause the stream to crash. If it does, it was nice knowing all y'all. And okay, let Please? Firefox? I know I updated you just before stream, so please don't be difficult. Come on. Come on. Idol walks into a perfectly normal Freddy Fazbear's pizza. I mean, if it's perfectly normal, that makes it the most concerning. Because we all know what happens on a normal day there. Oh, I closed the wrong window last. Oh. Now I have to reopen all my tabs. Oh, oh this sucks. Hold on. And I'll get back onto my thing because I don't need to see that. And I was looking up that one. Oh, and then open up my secondary email. That's all my tabs. Perfect. Perfecto. Well, thing is that even though Firefox knows it needs to restart in order to apply an update, there's no button to restart the browser, or if there is, I haven't found it yet. So it's like, how do I go about doing this? But yeah, I couldn't find a way to do it, so I just have to close out all the windows. And whichever window you close out of, that's what you get. Like back when you like restart the browser. But since I closed down my main window before remembering, oh, I had a third screen over here for the book editing. It meant that I couldn't. I only opened up that one, which the only tab on there was FimFiction, and I had to manually open up all my other tabs. Luckily, there's only 8 of them. This place is not very up to code. There's a strict 1 haunting per pizzeria rule. I'm sure that someone's going to fill out the paperwork to make it so that while the building contains only 1 pizzeria, it's actually 6 separate franchises that owns the restaurant. Okay. Oh, give me back my mouse. There we go. Boop. There we go. This is the book I made. Woo! I didn't write it. I just made it look pretty. Yeah. I'll post a link for anyone that's anyone that wants to get it. If anyone wants the other books in this series, let me know. I'll send you a link. Oh, I'm a designer. I've been doing this for a few years now, honestly. And funny enough, I didn't realize this when I was getting back onto this project, but I started this project, as you can see, of September 12th of last year, and I finished it pretty much September 12th of this year by complete accident. But yeah, I did the whole book layout. Looks pretty sweet if I do say so myself. Oh no, that's good. And yes, I do plan to do this to Changeling of the Guard if it ever gets finished. Maybe I'll just release one book that's only up till Canterlot and leaves on the biggest cliffhanger of to be continued. But yeah, this took a long time. Possession is 9/10 of the law. No, I love it, but no. Honestly, reminds me of a joke where, you know how we call them elevators here, and the UK and Britain calls them lifts. I guess we're just raised differently. But look, I'm right there. I did. Oh no, I'm right there. That's also totally not a company that I own, but I I want to maybe eventually one of these days. And then you're like, I like dad jokes. Hey, dad jokes are everyone's bread and butter, and or they are a tool and a weapon to be used. Whereas everyone who loves them will still groan at them, even though they love it, and those that hate it, they just want to murder you. Either way, you win. So, and this is the cover I did. I went for a very simplistic cover design for this whole series. You want to hear a joke about construction? Oh, I can't wait for the build up. Yeah, the design for this book, I went fairly simple because I knew going in that it was a long series, so I wanted like a unifying design for everything. Too bad, still working on it. Nice. The design being here is that the main cover page is the main character's coat color, whereas all the lettering is their main color. And then these two shapes, they're they're what I'm like dubbing uh well, they are like the secondary main characters. And what I mean by that is that every single book has a different character that is like helpful in Dawn, who's Dawn Lightwing's the main character. Uh, every single character helps Dawn in some ways, and some are more prevalent in books than others. There is one that will be saved for the last book, no matter how many times she becomes a prevalent character, because I know for a fact the most prevalent part of her character arc is the last book. So, so this for this particular book, it's Caramel or Caramel, however you pronounce that horse's name, and it's his main color and his coat color. The first one was Fluttershy's. The second one, I want to say, is. Gosh, it's been so long since I've looked at any of these. Un momento, por favor. Go there. Promise. Ah, yes, yes. I actually had two different. This one had two different main character arcs in there. These, and since there were two main characters, this was their introductory story. We had the main and coat color of the first one, and the main and coat color of the second one. And then the third story, I believe this is Perlin. Yeah, Perlin. He's a major anti-hero? Antagonist? Honestly, I don't know where to put him. At least until I read the rest of the story again, because it's been years since I've read the story. I want to say 2016, maybe even 2015. When was last Nightmare Nights? I think that was in 2016, and that's the last time I read this whole story in full. I'll be honest. This one being Arkenstone, another original character in the story, and then this one being uh, Apple Bloom. And I won't say why it's Apple Bloom, because it's a great part in the story. If you're really excited to read it, uh, it's by Morgira, and they've only released a handful of stories to begin with. But the first one in the Dawn Lightwing saga is Full of the Forest. I've recommended this lots of times, and I still will keep recommending it for the near future. It's a great story, and best part of all, it's finished. So all y'all that don't read unfinished stories, you can read this one with no fear. Any hoozles. Hey hoozles, that was my monologue. I closed down the whole browser again. Can I get it back? Okay, I'll fix it after stream. Anyway, but that's enough about what I've done this week. Because I can only talk about myself for so long. How y'all doing? It's been like a whole week. It's been so long. And I've already distracted myself for like half an hour. This is ridiculous for me. Oh, see you in a bit. Farfalla. Farfella. And then, all right, I forgot I was going to go and find out how to pronounce how to say Moth Chaser. All right, so Moth Chaser was. Let me triple check Moth Chaser. Moth Chaser. Where art thou, Moth Chaser? So ba 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 da ba 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 da ba ba. Not military cadence. Is it a fibrous diet? No. When did Moth Chaser show up? I thought it was after them getting out of the the meeting where they're corroborating stories. Is it not? Gosh, I am very curious. It was after that? Okay. Okay. Gosh, I'm gonna have to. It was after. Yes, yeah. I'm like, it's after the meeting. So when's the meeting? Honestly, I'll probably just have to. Hold on. I have a really simple solution. I just don't want to do it because I'll lose my place in the story. If I put a bookmark right here, yeah, and then search Moth Chaser. Oh, it was a broken clock. And final boarding call. That's the first time we meet her. Broken clock. Encore cold brew. Gosh, I didn't realize Moth Chaser. Gosh. I should realize that Moth Chaser is in more chapters. It just doesn't feel like it because. Come on, where is. Okay, Cold Brew. I gotta re listen to Cold Brew. Hold. Hold while I try and get my thoughts back in order. Hold the line and There we go. No, not that one. Not that one. Audiobooks. Yeah, yeah. That one. Just listen to the MP3. Cold Brew. Chapter 49, really? I guess it's chapter 50. Oh no, 50, 48. Okay, never mind. Don't be silly, Hoovesy. Just a little finicky. Okay, okay, got Moth Chaser. Moth Chaser has been acquired. Get over here. You have some lines to read. Alright, just a little fiddly, huh? Alright. Gosh, I can't believe I forgot that this was Moth Chaser. There we go. Oh, almost forgot to open up that one. Yeah. 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 There we go. Gosh, I'm going to get a lot of reading done today. I might even finish the whole chapter. Both Karma and Ulcer is going to be so disappointed. There we go. I almost forgot to close the recording curtains. It's been so long since I've had to close them. Come on. There we go. Now I'm in my own little recording cave. A SOG scale. I don't know what that is. Sat? I Do I want to look it up? Is this one of those things that I'm going to regret looking up? Oh, no, that's what you mean. Okay, yes. No, I understand now. Welcome back, Seth. Gosh, I almost forgot that that was a thing. I shouldn't. Given, well, I'm not a part of the guild, but I shouldn't. But gosh, that's been so long since I've seen that one. And making a PDA style device. Ooh, nice. While I was AFK, I had an amusing idea pop up. Ooh, can't wait to hear it. You know, Farfalla, the thing with PDAs, I always love the idea of PDAs, but especially like the Palm Pilot because I remember my dad having one, and that was so cool to me as a kid. And now I'm like, my phone does everything that that PDA did and more. It's just not nearly as analog or cool about it. And then I realized, ooh, we could do something with this idea, but I can't do it because I don't have the brains to do it. But what I would love is for a phone company to have a double-sided phone. The screen on the front would be just your regular LCD display and whatnot. The back side is an e-ink screen. And so that way, if you want to read books, you can just flip your phone over and read through it, and it gets amazing battery life. That'd be so sick. Idle and Cersei accidentally wind up on a Freaky Friday situation after eating at a Chinese restaurant. One of the trainees gave them the wrong fortune cookie. Oh no. I've just decided to make it a full-on phone replacement because I've been on the look for a Linux phone, but none of them have too good reviews. Well, what about the Fair phone? I've heard that one's has a fair price to it. Aha! And honestly, I've been thinking of like switching out from Google entirely. Like I have a Pixel, and I love my Pixel. It's just Pixel are getting to the point where they're almost like as expensive as iPhones. And I'm like, there has to be better competition. So ends up spending a week as Cersei and Cersei as idol. Yeah, no, the Freaky Friday situation, that could be very interesting. Especially if they especially if they try and hide it uh from Topaz, or even better, Topaz is out of town, and so they can't rely on her rationality to fix their problems. So their immediate thought is that I mean, we're changelings, right? We could totally just fake it till we make it. I've heard that they have very bad quality control. Ah, fair enough. What's to stop them from being each other? Well, as V's explained, like in changeling lore, to make something bigger, or way smaller than yourself, expends like exponential amount of love energy. So they could, but they wouldn't be able to hold on to that form for that long. So Idol would only be able to really make efficient use out of a full form, and Cersei could only make use out of an adult form. I mean, they could turn into their various colors, and they could claim it was like an age swap spell, but that could go even worse for them if Celestia's like, oh, I can fix that, zap, and now their age matches their bodies. It's kind of like what we did with Idol, where uh, he can only transform into other toys. He can't transform into a pony. So you just kind of that's the way that you work around all their transforming shenanigans. Although Idle and Topaz or Idle and Cersei, like imagine like them being in that Freaky Friday solution, only to get that uh, Celestia be like trying to be the good aunt and just be like, "Oh, I can swap your age right this instant." Only for their realization of, "Oh, we didn't think this through. We did not think this through." And then Topaz comes back from vacation or from a summit or something with a full idol and an adult Cersei, and she's just very confused about the whole thing. Your phone as it exists. It was called the Yada phone. It came out in 2014 to mixed reviews and didn't sell. No. I, ah, maybe eventually. Hopefully, because I feel like 2014, like e-inks were getting some use, but they weren't as nearly as mainstream or popular as as they are nowadays. So I think if someone made a Yada phone 2, it would probably get like it'd be still fairly niche, but if it was well made, it could probably compete with some of the bigger phone brands out there. Kind of like what's happening with like the Pebble Watch. They are? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, people are just now discovering the benefits of e ink and not staring at a screen the entire day. Which, honestly, I use e inks just, like, not to reduce eye strain, but because it's just more comfortable to look at than, like, a regular book. Also, you can take it outside and you can, like, read in the sun, which is so much more, like, healthy for you than just reading in a dark room and just having the light sear your eyes, which is why every time I like read a new chapter from this story, I have to first update my e-reader and then read on my e-reader because I can't actually stand looking at a screen for that long. At least I used to back when I worked for the IRS where I was staring at a screen for like 7 hours a day. Gosh, that was awful. I couldn't do anything. That's why I didn't stream that entire time, is because I could not stand to look at a screen for any longer than I had to during the day. I wonder if it would have been much better if there was a way to replace my monitors with e-ink screens. Because holy crap, staring at nothing but screens, it's just murder. Especially in an accounting area like that where lines don't move. You just are reading things. But I don't know. Anyways, that is difficult on phones. It might be, and like some people are making like faux e-reader screens. I've seen a couple of them, and they look very interesting. I don't know if they're actually faux e-readers, but like the technology is very much maturing, and to the point where people are joking. I can't wait for uh, Amazon or Apple to take this idea, make it their own, and be praised as the inventor of it. All right, Celestia. Confused you may be, but many pictures take can we? Is she Yoda? Did she get hit by a limerick spell? Yeah, autocorrect. It's the best, ain't it? Uh, but yeah, honestly, I feel like Idle and Cersus. Uh, if these shenanigans goes down, it would have to be before Idle is revealed to be a changeling, because it'd be way too simple for everyone around them to just like try and fix it and try and be logical about it. It has to be two changelings that don't know that much about pony society trying to decide how to fix this problem without anyone else finding out. Or plan on installing Debian. Best of luck to you. Honestly, I've been trying to look into going on to switching to Linux in general because Windows it does being Windows things. But then I look at all the programs that either have poor support or have no support, and they're programs I use quite frequently. I'm like, probably not. You can get smartphones with ink displays, but they're limited in other ways. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm like, like, the best case, honestly, could be like a foldable, uh, like a Galaxy Fold. The inner screen being a regular LCD, and on the front panel is just an e-ink. So that way you get maximum battery life if you don't need to look at a screen, because any intensive scrolling or video tasks you'd want to do on the bigger screen anyway, where you can see everything. I don't know. All the non-Android phone ROMs are Debian. What about Graphite OS? Is that also Debian? I don't know. I've barely looked into this. I looked at Linux and said, nope. I cannot remember commands and such. Honestly, the only I've learned a handful of commands, but they're all for Windows. I could not navigate around uh, an OS just using the terminal. And there are some Linux distros that are pretty Windows like, but if you want to do anything deep divery into it, you'll have to learn the terminal. And I'm like, I love to tinker with stuff, but I don't know if I like to tinker with stuff that much. I remember that being de-Googled Android. I think it kind of is, but it's also like more like every app is kind of like in its own sandbox, so that way there's nothing deep rooted onto the device. And it kind of like breaks compatibility with some Google apps because they try their hardest to steal all your data and embed themselves as deeply as possible into your system, but they're just completely prevented from doing that. My laptop is Arch and my desktop is Fedora. Gosh, oh that's awful. but I commend, but I commend your bravery. Also, only sports Pixel. Oh, fair enough. Oh, welcome, Aster. Welcome to the stream. We have, made it in time for an hour after I started, and we still haven't read anything yet. And we're just talking about Idle getting into a Freaky Friday situation and Android devices and Linux. I love how it always devolves into these kind of conversations. It's very fun. But yeah, honestly, I love Pixel like hardware and whatnot, and like the software integrated into it is very nice in a lot of ways. Has its own issues sometimes, but for the most part, it's great. Biggest downgrade, honestly, was my Pixel 3 to my Pixel 6 because the 3 still had the fingerprint sensor on the back. And that's what I love most about the Pixel 3 was having the fingerprint sensor on the back. So if there was a phone that just replaced that but still had a fantastic camera, I'd probably just switch over at this point. But yeah, making your own phone like device, you're kind of like the that guy who made his laptop from scratch. I think it was called like the Ioni or something like that. Yes, same. Absolutely. Like, if they had kept that hardware, gosh, I would probably be such a Pixel fanboy still, uh, even with all the crap that Google's pulling. Maybe not. I mean, I'd probably still just buy a Pixel and then immediately root it with Graphene OS. Oh, you know the Ioni guy? Oh, that's sick. Yeah, I saw the laptop and that's so cool. Why do I have to wear this dress? Because I scheduled this family picture weeks ago and I won't cancel it due to your situation. Why does he look better than me in it? Oh, not personally, but you've read what he's done. But yeah, it's so cool. Also, I want to try out an OLED display just because I think it solves a lot of the issues with LCDs, but they're so expensive. Front reader is okay. I'm on the 9 Pro XL. I'm still on the 6 Pro. I haven't upgraded since. I I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get the 9 and just like upgrade every 3 years or something like that. But my 6 is still doing kind of good. I mean, I had to switch to a wireless charger because the port chargers are being funky on it. I think it had something to do with the cable, but honestly, I can't tell because I've replaced it. I replaced the cable twice, and it still doesn't charge that securely. So I just switched to a wireless charger for overnight charging, and that's kind of how it goes. To be fair, you look better than me out of it. Oh. Oh, that's great. Uh, I saw the video on LTT. Oh, same. I saw them discussing it first on like WAN show, and then the LTT video, and that's so cool. What did V just get here? No, V's been here for like half an hour now. They snuck in, said a couple of words, and then have just been very quiet about it the whole time. I don't watch the WAN show. Honestly, I don't for the most part. I watch mainly the clips if it's interesting enough. I watched a handful of the WAN show, but sometimes their topics are not interesting enough for me to just latch on to it for the most part. Especially since, and this is more of a Google Maps thing than anything. What I hate about Google Maps, despite YouTube and Google being owned by the same company,
For that, you'll have to turn off airplane mode.
I didn't talk to you. Shush. Anyway, the the issue is that Google, when giving out directions for podcast apps, it will just pause it and then restart it while it's after it's given you the instructions. For YouTube, it will just keep playing and quiet down the part so you miss vital information. That's why I had to stop listening to documentaries while on the road because I couldn't hear all of it. And I have no idea why. Like it knows that YouTube's not just a music app. They have YouTube Music. So why can't you just pause it, play the instructions to me, and then resume playback? I, I don't get it at all. And I'm just upsetty. I don't do I want to know what that even is? Are you talking about wait, which part that you don't want to know? The part where my phone's interrupting my stream, where uh, the part where Google Maps is doing random stuff when it shouldn't be, or the part where I listen to documentaries while on the road. Oh, WAN Show is a tech podcast. Well, like, yeah, WAN Show is a tech Oh, Seth was asking. Oh, I get where the conversation is. I don't know why I mixed up your profile pictures, but I did, and now look at all this egg on my face. So yeah, the WAN Show is a tech podcast run by like one of the biggest tech YouTubers in the space. And it can be very entertaining. Honestly, I didn't watch the WAN Show all too much, like only a handful of episodes. The ones that I just keep going back to is when they discuss like the LTT hack a year ago, because that's fair. That's very entertaining. But yeah, it really just depends on the topics because they can ramble on it, and it feels like sometimes they just like don't have anything to talk about that week in game in on the tech space. But then when there is something to talk about, it gets super interesting. Also, welcome Z. Welcome to the stream where nothing gets done. I'm just upset that it looks like custom map voices will never be a thing. In 300 feet, turn left you must. Uh, did you see like the Gordon Ramsay like driving assistant? It's like you're supposed to turn left. What are you, an idiot sandwich? Moore's Law is Dead is pretty good. Is that another tech podcast? I might have to check that one out. I don't listen to podcasts all too often. I don't know why, but I get burned out on them fairly quickly. The longest I stuck to was the Popcast by the Super Carlin Brothers. That one was very fun. But then they do the mistake that all podcasts do, which is as soon as they become a visual format, they start doing in jokes that are only for the video portion of it, and they completely lose their identity as an audio first format. And I just don't get it. Reads meters says feet American. In 300 yards, turn left. Oh my gosh, if there was a Doc Brown one, that'd be hilarious. He's a video podcast. But yeah, like every time I tune into a podcast that starts out as audio only, it's really good. And then as soon as people are like, "Oh, we want a video portion of it," then they start being like, "Oh," and they try and like describe like the visual portion of it, but then it completely takes you out of the podcast because they keep on just doing things that are for like video watchers only. I'm like, but then you're not a podcast anymore. Oh, we need an idle voice GPS. Well, an idle voice GPS would just be very monotone and pretty confused. I do not know how you are going this fast, but I suggest that uh, that soon that you should get off there. I I don't know what you're getting off to, but it's there. But yeah, that's why I kind of fall off podcasts because they never stay just podcasts, and then they ruin the whole vibe by not being just podcasts. Because podcasts, fantastic. Loved the creators on there. Haven't watched them in years though, honestly. I might need to check them out again. But as soon as they became a visual podcast, it's just like I could not watch them. I could not listen to them anymore. In 50 feet, you will be pulled over for speeding. But yeah. Oh gosh. It's been an hour and I've done nothing. 50 feet later, a horse lands on your car. I bring justice from above. Let's see. Oh gosh, I not only. Oh wait, no, I. It's just Moth Chaser. Okay, so Moth Chaser is right round here. It's just a. I'm not breaking in. It's just a little fiddly. There we go. Idol would be very confused by some directions. Keep left, but by turning right. What? You put the laptop thing in the Discord. Ah, yeah. The laptop thing is super cool. I hope he can continue making cool things with that. Cause that's fun. Uh, to my great consternation, I had another visitor waiting. To my great consternation, I had another visitor waiting in front of my door, and this one of my own making. Oof. Gosh, I can't. Am I not getting into the reading spirit of things? To my great consternation, I had another visitor waiting. To my great consternation, I had another visitor waiting in front of my door, and this one of my own making. Though, to be fair, she was waiting in front of my door, in an alcove, near the ceiling, so I'm sure many would have been forgiven for not noticing her. Still, good morning to you. Good morning to you, Moth Chaser. May I help you? The bat pony fluttered down, wringing her wingtips. Gosh, you really put in a tongue twister just for me. Wringing her wingtips. I'm surprised I got through that the first time, honestly. So let's see. It's just a little bit fiddly. There we go. There we go. There's our mothy. You you said all I had to do was ask, right? I nodded I nodded slowly. I did say that. Well, well, she took a deep breath. Well, she took a deep, steadying breath. I'm asking, can I come in? Certainly. And with that, I held the door open, and the Thestral slipped in. I found her admiring the wall of crystals. It's... It's a little less Spartan than I expected. Her approval was plain. Oh, gosh, why am I so zoomed out? There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. Idol's favorite pizza toppings? Yeah, definitely fish. 100% fish. She really hit the nail on the head with the feng shui stuff, just not in the way she expected. I mean, honestly, like, how could you get more good vibes in a house than having love crystals? It's a little less Spartan than I expected. Her approval was plain, and I honestly. Her approval was plain, and I was honestly a little flattered. Anything that is rotten meat, I assume? I mean, just meat in general. Would I honestly? I bet a cheesesteak pizza would be one of Idol's like favorite things. Cheesesteak pizza with anchovies, something along those lines. I confess, much of it was Shining's. When they moved him to officer quarters, he offered to leave some of it until I had a new roommate. But I have had enough. Cheesesteak? Oh, you don't know about a cheesesteak? Well, honestly, I haven't had one. My actually, no, that's a lie. I've had cheesesteak. It's great. You take thinly sliced steak, and you put on a bunch of cheese, and then you put on a bun, and it's delicious. And sometimes you can dip it in things, but it's really good. Yeah, I think it's for anyone who knows the true origins of the Philly cheesesteak. Please don't flame me. I've barely been out east at all. Apparently, it was invented in Philadelphia, and quite the treat too. So basically, it's a really good sandwich. Yeah, it's a really good sandwich. Technically, the one that I've had was like was a French dip, but it was with the Philly cheesesteak that we dipped it in like a really good oniony thing. So it was super good. And I honestly have no idea what else is on there other than just cheese and steak. The picture makes it look really nice. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Uh, as we, as you, makes it look really nice, very American, but nice. What's very funny is that when other countries do American foods, they tend to make it way better. And it's just kind of the opposite when Americans try to make other countries' foods. Although we always put a fun twist on it. You know, something I learned recently, a fun fact, is that uh, spaghetti and meatballs is a purely American thing, but it was invented by uh, Italian immigrants, and they put meat in things because that was a luxury back home supposedly. So they're like, "Yup, we have all this beef. Let's put beef in our tomato sauce." And so that's why uh, spaghetti and meatballs is an American thing and not a classic Italian dish because they just didn't have access to beef as readily as Americans did. Funny thing, I do not like fish, but I love sushi. Sushi is really great. Although my friends would put me on blast for calling the things that I eat sushi. I mean, they're sushi shaped. And I fell in love with like the deep fried sushi rolls. So I'm going to keep eating them. They're great. And then every once in a while I have this one called a cowboy roll, which it like I can agree with them. It's not really sushi cuz it doesn't I don't think it has fish in it at all. But it does have rice and it's like has steak and asparagus in there. Super good, and I wholly admit that that's definitely not a classic sushi either. If it walks like a sushi. Yeah. It better not talk like a sushi. I would prefer not my singing fish to remain on my wall and not on my plate. You know, this is what I kept telling them, but they're just saying you uh, Americans just only commit war crimes against food, and you know I agreed with them to at some point. My family's even committed more heinous war crimes against food, and I will admit that my family is weird for doing some of these things to food. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop. No, because it's good, but culinary war crimes. Yeah, absolutely culinary war crimes. Uh, their favorite one to bring up is ketchup on tacos. My family, I was raised to only put like ketchup on tacos. I guess it's because we couldn't afford salsa, so we just had ketchup on tacos instead. And I still eat them that way to this day because that's what I'm used to. That's nostalgic for me. Culinary war crimes? Absolutely. Delicious? 100%. Is it authentic? Not at all. Call Geneva and tell them that they missed all the food stuff. They got a couple of them. Nah, shame to admit, I love, love, love pineapple on pizza. Ah, you brave soldier, you. Honestly, I probably would as well if I liked pineapple, cause it's actually partly an allergy thing and partly a texture thing. I hate the texture of pineapple. And I'm also allergic to pineapple. So it's just kind of two knocks against it. But like, I understand the flavor profile of it, and it's pretty good. I just wish I could eat it without gagging on the weird textures that's happening there. The other thing that they like to, the other thing my friends love to point out as being heathen, is a little cookie very popular around here called no bakes. They're kind of popular around everywhere, but they're very popular around my neck of the woods. And no bakes, they they weren't originally called no bakes. Their original recipe name was boiled cookies. And the fact that they were boiled just set them off. So they always roast me every time. It's like every time I like make fun of them, they're like, "At least I don't boil cookies." I'm like, "They're great." I return. Has any reading actually been done? Very. Hey, I read almost a whole minute of things. That's something that happens. No bake sounds like a weed, but honestly, no bakes like it kind of does. But if it was a weed thing, then it would be a cookie that doesn't have weed in it because it's you're not getting baked. It's a no bake. Oh, and that was too much. Oh man, I mean fair, but yeah, no bakes are great cookies, especially if you love chocolate and peanut butter, because it is honestly just pure chocolate and peanut butter goodness, uh, bound together with sugar and oatmeal, or not oatmeal, oats. Very good, very, very unquestionably nutritious for you. I mean, you got a lot of protein in there. You got peanut butter, you got delicious chocolate, you got enough sugar to feed two armies, and you have oats for grain. It's perfect. Perfectly balanced breakfast, honestly. And Idle having any allergies, honestly, I feel like if Idle did have any allergies, that would make him unsuitable for Idle having allergies. Now that is a question, because Idle wasn't raised an infiltrator, so he might not have any allergies. But if he did have any allergies, I feel like the queen wouldn't have let his egg hatch for whatever reason, because he might pass those allergies on down through his line if he were to ever reproduce. That is my thinking there. I'd say he's far more susceptible to irritants that target chitin. Honestly, yeah, that's my thought too, is that no food allergies, just regular pest control things. Which makes me wonder, is he allergic to pepper or is he more sensitive to pepper? Because what was it? There's like this chemical in pepper that was like used as a natural pest control. In that case, why would she let Cersis's egg hatch? You know what? Fair enough. You got me there. Although her color blindness wasn't known about until much later. I feel like food allergies would happen a lot sooner on in development than uh, eye allergies. I mean, changelings treat diatomaceous earth like serious itching powder. That's my thought too. I mean, most food allergies are unlikely to come up for non-infiltrators. The queen can sense something about eggs, but she can't determine every possible issues. But like the changelings do eat food. Like they have scavengers going out to eat food. This they had this explained in chapter 1. Also with Idle has said he needs regular foodstuffs in order to function. He just needs them slightly less than they're just not nearly as important as emotions. but just slightly less. So like changelings do eat regular food. I think did the is it like actually like regular food that they eat, or is it more of a slurry of just everything that they've collected? I can't remember. But yeah, any but yeah, I've could you imagine that Idol is just like more sensitive to like natural remedies for like pest control? Like, oh, he can't go near like what was it like? Uh, what is it called? Like peppermint. Like he absolutely does not like peppermint because it was used as a natural pest control for ages. It'd probably be the same as it was for most of history. You don't know you have an allergy until you eat something new one day, and then you probably die. Yeah, honestly, that is very fair. And it'd probably be unlikely to root out any new food allergies unless they were an infiltrator, because regular changelings would just eat whatever was already deemed safe by the hive. But that's the thing that I'm curious about is that if Idol had any food allergies from a young age, he probably would have died as a nymph because he would be fed that food that was deemed safe by the hive, and then he died because he ate it. So like that's why I think Idol doesn't really have any major food allergies, or else maybe more exotic food allergies. Idol gets a really itchy rash from a raisin cookie. Wait, are raisins natural deterrents as well? Honestly, I have no idea. Oh, he's more sensitive to capsaicin. Because fun fact, that's why some farmers ring their fields in with jalapenos to protect the natural crop within, because animals will eat the peppers, hate the capsaicin, and then won't go on to the fields themselves. So confirmed, Idle can't handle that spice. I mean, neither can I, but Idle can handle it even less so. I wonder if he would like ginger or not then, because ginger can be pretty spicy, but it's a different kind of spice than capsaicin. Where did I leave off again? Oh no. No 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 no. No 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 no. Go back. Go back. Thank you. Thank you. Some animals will ignore capsaicin, such as snakes. Well, yeah. A fun fact that I found out uh, fairly recently that reptiles are immune from capsaicin. They just don't have uh, reptiles and birds, I believe, don't have any reaction to capsaicin. They just can't sense it. It's mostly for like deterrence from mammals, if I'm remembering correctly. How much have I tried Linux? Well, so most of my experience with Linux has been through a terminal window when I was taking uh, cybersecurity. We had a whole class on Linux, and they're like, "We're going to throw you into the command terminal and give you a bunch of things to work out, a lot of history from Linux, and you're just going to have to suffer." And so that's why I haven't really tried Linux out, because that first experience was so horrible. But I'm going to try it again eventually, maybe with a more user friendly option, and just tinker around with the distro naturally through a GUI. And then if I want to use the command terminal, I'll go through the command terminal. I get that like it's easier to learn Linux if you're learn the terminal of Linux if you're forced to use it. But at the same time, if you're throwing someone with little technical experience and like no advanced technical experience straight into Linux, them trying to like learn new commands on the fly and memorize them. That's just awful. But yeah, oh, the worst way to try it? Absolutely. Thank you, college, for showing me the worst way to experience this operating system, ensuring that I definitely don't want to do it ever again. Although I still will, because I don't know, I guess I'm a masochist or something. But again, only if I can get the programs that work only in Windows to work in Linux. Whether that's through like parallels, crosscode, or just having a VM itself to a Windows machine. If that's how I have to do it, that's how I have to do it because I really want to get off this Windows train. The crazy train's going too far, honestly. For many years, I had an elderly neighbor who had a computer with Windows 3.0 on it. Used to play solitaire. Honestly, that's fair. Solitaire's great, especially in older versions of Windows. Speaking of solitaire, new video released from one of my favorite creators, uh, Alan Becker. It released last week. I was so excited to talk about it, but then I realized most people probably haven't seen it. At least no one does in my circles. Sag, 100%. But if you want a new, if you enjoy a fun story, I highly recommend watching Animator versus Animation and Animation versus Minecraft. Great story. Yeah, they released their newest episode of Animator versus Animation, and oh boy, does it go hard. Honestly, I liked the other episodes pacing a little bit better, but the newest episode still goes really, really hard, and I love it. It's so good. I mean, we saw it last Saturday. I know we did, Aster. I just have to tell them about it. And people have described it as the best anime uh, out there right now, which is funny because it just has like that anime style to it, even if it's not a proper anime. The reveal at the end, oh my gosh, the reveal at the end is so good. ET on how much longer you're running. I'm at the pool, so if you're wrapping up soon, I'll dip now. Yeah, I'm probably only going to be going for another half hour, give or take. I didn't think he was alive. Yeah, honestly, uh, who would think he would still be alive after what happened to him? You said the circles you run in, we are in a circle together. Well, you're one of the many circles I run in. And honestly, only reason our circle's exposed to it is because I was forcing everyone else to watch it. I forced everyone else to be in that circle. So, yeah, you typically don't watch it unless I force you to watch it. I s- See you later, Warlord. Have fun at the pool. I'm in a circle you run in and I know about it. Yay! Another person! Let's go! But yeah, honestly, I feel like the best way to experience the Alan Becker verse is to watch Animator versus Animation 1 through 4. As soon as you get the orange guy, after that, you watch the entirety of Animation versus Minecraft, and then you can watch. Then you can start watching uh, the rest of Animator versus Animation. Technically, Animation versus Minecraft is a spin-off series, but you get to learn all about the Color Gang's personalities through that series. So it's very recommended you watch that before continuing on, or else you'll be very confused about why do they have these specific skill sets. I mean, Looney knew about it, but yeah, I haven't been overly been watching it. Yeah, Looney knew about it. Most people only know about it from the first episode, maybe episode 2 of Animation versus Animator, because it was so huge back in the day. But hardly anyone knows about its continuation nowadays. Did anyone else see the episode? Yeah, I it's great. It was fantastic. I can't wait for the next episode. Apparently, they've been animating it this episode since the end of the last episode, according to their reaction channel. So, yay, another 8 months before we find out what's going on between those two. And oh god. The one on addiction was so well done. Oh, 100%. I was talking about your previous post? Uh, Wait, hold on. Which previous post? I didn't. I mean, I haven't posted anything. Um. Oh, you're talking about the previous post. Yeah. I I I'm so lost. I'll be honest. I'm sorry, Seth. I am very lost. My brain. I have a severe case of Sunday brains. Oh, that one. No, I haven't seen Doctor Stone. Uh, I hear it's good. I haven't seen it. I tend to stay away from animes just on the principle that everyone always overhypes animes. And also, I have a deal with Aster over here that because he doesn't enjoy reading, so we made an agreement. I'll watch one anime series for 15 chapters of Changeling of the Guard. And I've watched one anime series of his recommendation, and he still hasn't read his 15 chapters of Changeling of the Guard yet. So I have to stick it to him. So I am unfortunately banned from all anime until Aster completes his end of the bargain and chooses a new one. Dr. So makes you really appreciate the technology. Oh, I 100% always appreciate the technology. One of my favorite things is trains. I know, polar opposite of idle, but steam locomotives, just the amount of work that went into them that they did before computers even existed, and they just figured this stuff out. Holy hell, mad respect to all of them that worked on the railroad because they lose it all. Oh yeah, it's like a last pony on earth kind of dealio. Seems very interesting. I've only ever seen the film theory episode that they did on it, like 3 or 4 years ago. Seemed very interesting concept, but still, I'm not. I have to leave some animes for Aster to try and tempt me with to watch anime. And honestly, like there are some days I'm like, oh man, wouldn't life be simpler if we didn't have such and such technology? And then I think back on it, and I'm like, well, I really like not dying that at a young age, so I super appreciate the technology we have. But honestly, huge misstep moving away from steam locomotives. I get why we did it. It was a whole maintenance cost thing, but they're so cool. It's less that I don't like reading and more my thinking process fights me every step of the way, so it unfortunately can be rather rough. Well, I keep on offering to say, "Hey, I've done lots of chapters here. Feel free." But I know you like to read it first before listening to the audiobook. But if your brain fights you every step of the way reading, try listening. I wonder how well Idle would do on a submarine. I feel like he would like it for its cramped interior, and then he would hate it because inevitably someone would describe it as flying through space. And despite him being on the quote unquote the ground, he would just absolutely hate it because now he's associating it with flying rather than traversing the depths of the crushing ocean. But yeah, Idle would definitely enjoy the cramped interior, hate being away from solid ground that he could tunnel into. Also, it would like Idle can't swim, so it'd just be even doubly bad for him, honestly. I confess, much of it was Shining's. When they moved him to the I confess, much of it was Shining's. When they moved him to officer quarters, he offered to leave some of it until I had a new roommate. But I have had enough time in service. Gosh, have had. It's not that. It's not have had. I confess, much of it was Shining's. When they moved him to officer quarters, he offered to leave some of it until I had a new roommate. But I have enough time in service to warrant my own quarters, and as such, the room is mine, and his spot is saved for whenever use he wishes to put to it. I suspected it was canoodling with Cadence, but knew better than to suggest as much. The crystals are mine, however. He bad. He'd do bad. Yep. Honestly, I feel like it. I feel like the only good thing that Idle would get out of being on a submarine is its cramped quarters, and then everything else he would hate about it. They're nice, she agreed. Is it like a feng shui thing? The energy of crystals and stuff? Uh, more or less. Nice, nice. Silence stretched between us for a small eternity before she finally mumbled, "So, how do we do this?" I motioned to the bed and her eyes grew wide with I motioned to the bed and her eyes grew wide with trepidation and I motioned to the bed and her eyes grew wide and trepidation washed over her. She stamped it down, went over to the perfectly smooth, military taut bed, and cautiously rolled onto it. Hooves held over her in front of her chest and tail wrapped around her legs. She shifted almost desperately from demure to eager to simply nervous, and I feared things were already not going as she expected. I did hate to disappoint, but I twirled a hoof and she flushed, rolling again so her hooves were under her and wings above. She bit her lip, though she tried to hide it as she struggled to get her breathing under control again as I approached. I am not getting on a ship. I feel any ship called the Titanic is just asking for trouble. Also, fun fact about the Titanic. Gosh, my two interests are coming together this stream: trains and the Titanic. And space. Also space. But the Titanic, no one ever in the building of Titanic called it unsinkable. It was only the news that ever called it unsinkable. None of her builders claimed it was. So everyone be like, "Oh, that's what you get for calling it the unsinkable ship." You can just blame the news. You can blame the news for doing it. Space? Yes, space. I have a voracious nature of space, which means most space things are deeply disappointing to me in modern media because they're so inaccurate to how they would happen online. But it's great when it's well written. Favorite book about space right now is Project Hail Mary. It can't be beat. I can't wait for the movie because the original movie for The Martian did great justice for the Martian book, even though they had to change a few things. But and I hope that they can bring the same class act to his Andy Weir's most popular book he's ever produced. I uh, just be. I smiled fondly, and she silenced herself. Be at ease, Moth Chaser. All you have to do is wish for me to stop, and I shall. I promise. I once had a PC game called Titanic Adventure Out of Time, in which you played a detective who somehow gets blasted back in time uh, to your time on Titanic with a second chance to solve a case you've been working on. Idle does not do well in water, and he doesn't like being airborne longer than it takes him to get from point A to point B. Circe would fly everywhere if she could, 100%. Where you could just look around the ship. Yeah, it's so cool. And get old interesting facts. Yeah, honestly, like those kind of point and click adventure style games, kind of like oh what were some of those like there were I think the most popular one was like Nancy Drew stuff. Those edutainment games. So much fun. And honestly, I'm kind of miffed a little bit because there's this one edutainment game that I absolutely loved. Never really got far into it because I could only access it at school in the computer lab, and it was never for long enough for me to get very far in the game, but I always wanted to try and beat it. Maybe I'll see if I can find like an emulator for it and play it one of these days. Honestly, I can't even remember the name of the game. I can't remember the name of the game. I just remember that it was about like the daughter of a brilliant inventor, and she made a joke on her history test by filling in all the wrong answers. And when she uh, and when the professor instead didn't laugh but put a big zero on it, she gets all mad and decides to use her father's time machine to make it so all her answers were correct. And it's up to like uh, the guy's like robotic butler or companion. I honestly can't remember what it was. They had to go around and try and write the timeline. So it it was a very fun game, and I kind of want to play it again just to see how far I could get. Like it was very simplistic, but it seemed like a grand old time if I could finish it. She flushed even deeper, nodded, and resolutely looked ahead, waiting for my next move. Let's see, I have 15 minutes to finish it. How long is this chapter? Oh, God. I remember Nintendo had a few point and click games. Yeah. What? Too long? You don't. Thing is if I can't read, I mean, your distraction game's on point today. But how else will I be able to read more of Changeling of the Guard and put out new videos for y'all. I mean, we can just hang out every week or so, which is fine. I enjoy it. But let's see how far I can get with maximum distractions ongoing. She did not expect me to lay hooves on her back, and her squeak of surprise made that very evident. Still, I knew roughly what I was about. I had wanted to try this again, and yet, really the only ones who came to my room were other changelings, who this did not seem to work on. Uh, I had convinced Topaz to let me try this on one of her legs after she stumbled during a long day teaching, and she had been most grateful. But Mothchaser was here, and, in my opinion, she had earned this with her trust. She made a few muffled noises into my pillow. She made a few muffled noises into my pillow as I continued to work on her, popping joints, deftly working hooves into her spine and shoulders, haunch and hocks. Before long, her noises became an almost chittering purr of approval. Before long, her noises became an almost chittering purr of Before long, her noises became an almost chittering purr of approval, and I found that tension was almost completely removed from her body. It's such a long paragraph, V. Oh. Specifically, Shadowgate, Uninvited, and Deja Vu. I don't remember Shadowgate. I'll have to check that one out. Did you read the spell where Idol becomes a masseuse to everyone? Yes. Although I didn't read the second chapter, the first chapter is on this channel. And I think it's called, like, Idol Reads or something like that. Oh, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum. There we go. I can just... Boop. There we go. It was only when I began to work her wings that she gave any form of actual protest. Yeah, it is. Da-ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba. Hold on, I have to navigate my own channel. It's actually called the title of the stream, Idle Hooves Are the Devil's Tools. I love how YouTube recommendation brings my own channel. Is like, hey, we recommend this live stream to you. It's your own. Yeah, I know. I'm doing it right now. You know? Oh, it's in the Idle Curiosity playlist. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Some lag there. Share, copy, and boop. There we go. I posted it for you. Enjoy. It's also where I put all the idle tunes as well. I need to see if I can find another song to put in there this year. That was fun. I can't wait for my Orange Pi 5 Plus to get here. Interesting. Hey, this thing you made is very similar to stuff you like. We think you'll like it. Exactly. I don't understand. I even get an email from YouTube saying, this stream has been, your channel recently started a stream. Join now. And I'm like, yeah, I was there. You don't need to send me an email about it. Did I somehow subscribe to my own channel? And YouTube's like, yes, we need to get him to watch his own stuff. Oh my god. Yeah, play my own live stream on Livestream. That is the ultimate YouTube. That is YouTube's ultimate goal. Instead, just have this recurring loop. Play it on live stream, please. There's just you can watch the video, and also maybe it'll make me. If enough people like it, then maybe I'll read the second chapter. Now that I actually have a Luna voice to put towards the second chapter. Don't cite the deep magics to me, witch. But distraction? Yeah, yes, I know. Distraction, distraction, distraction. All you want is a distraction. Idle working in a museum where everything comes to life at night, though. That is kind of That is interesting. Although I feel like he would take it in stride, think of it as odd pony magic, and just kind of nearly berate peop them. Either he'll berate them for like uh because he thinks of like they're damaging their themselves, which you're damaging museum property, but they aren't. Or he'll just take it in stride, allow them to roam because he knows as well as anyone standing still for that long will get you very stiff in the joints. So it's nice to work it out every night. But yeah, Night at the Museum Idol could go one of two ways, but he definitely wouldn't panic nearly as much as Ben Stiller did. Bit there. Hey, those are delicate. You have to. Oh, my headphone banged around. Hey, hey, those are delicate. You have to. I took one of the wing joints in my hooves and gave it a very gentle squeeze until the joint popped and she gasped, tensing before going limp in relief. Wait, what? Wait, what? I continued working her wings with deft hooves, feeling every bit of strain, every last ounce of tension was completely stripped from her. When I was done, Moth Chaser looked as though she had run a marathon, and she was drooling on my pillow. That said, every outpouring of breath seemed to be a happy praise of my work. Now, how do you feel? I feel. Wait, this isn't. She seemed to struggle to find the words. I put a hoof to her lips. I know, but I cannot give you that. At her hurt expression, I clarified. I cannot. Not in that I do not want to, but I am physically incapable. It is not my purpose. She seemed dazed. Not your purpose? I meant to serve, Moth Chaser. It is truly all I am good for. I do work, I assist others, I obey. This is what I am. I know what you seek of me, but it is something I cannot provide, and cannot be. My purpose is to do my duty, do it well, and be forgotten. A trace of bitterness in my own words. I silenced it. She did not need to know the depths of my pain, and I felt no need to share it. Ponies change. Ugh. I almost got through it all. I almost got through the whole dialogue. As long as you clean up after yourselves and stay indoors, you can do as you please. he is heavily, he is heavily implying he's a pony. He is not a pony. I mean, Moth Chaser did catch on. She just thought he was a magical constructed golem. But then once the changelings came, and she, because no one at this point in the story knows what changelings are. So she has no frame of reference. So when he says he's not a pony, she has no idea what else he could be other than a like golem or a construct of some sort. And then when the changelings revealed themselves in Canterlot, she's like, "Oh, Oh, that's what he is. But yeah, she very much catches on. Ponies change all the time who they Ponies change who they are all the time. You could Ponies do, I agreed. But I cannot. This is not a thing I can change, nor I fear can it be changed. So wait. She tried to sit up, trembling. It's true then? I frowned, not sure what she was talking about. Pardon? They used to joke that you were some kind of golem pony thing. Is that true? She seemed absolutely dumbfounded. I did not intend to my I did not intend to reveal myself, and in truth, I did not. Oh, I'll just have to start. They used to joke that you were some kind of golem pony thing. Is that true? She seemed absolutely dumbfounded. I did not intend to reveal myself, and in truth, I did not think I could. Somehow I had sidestepped my orders, but not entirely. A side effect, perhaps? I cannot say, but no, I am not a pony. She be. She ba- 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 She sat back, stunned. Damn, I mean, we always joked about it, sure, but wow, you just came out and said it. Like, they said you were a construct made to make the guard look good and maybe to boost Shining into being a captain so he could marry Cadence. I mean, everyone knows about that. You joked about it? Well, yeah, I mean, she let out a chittery giggle, nervous. The night guard has a joke that if it smells like coming home, it's idle hooves coming on shift. At my concerned look, she clarified, it's really a thestral thing. You don't smell exactly like a pony. You kind of smell, good? She cleared her throat. Like, really good. Nobody, really good. Nobody can really put a hoof on what it is, but we like it. I do recall one of the unicorn night guards begging me for my cologne, and then rolling all over me when I told him I had no idea what he meant. It was an important thing for a big date. Oh, yeah, he absolutely got lucky with that one then. Bold move, but I actually bet it worked. At my stunned look, Moth Chaser blushed. It's, yeah, it's a thing. Actually, had to hold one of the new moons back because they wanted to see if you tasted as good as you smelled. I stared. She coughed. So, what about all the. She motioned towards the door, as if knocking, and I realized what she meant. Ah, I provide them with emotional support, and little more than I have done for you today. Her head fell in her it her head fell into her hooves. You're not a stud, you're a masseuse. Oh dear Faust, I'm an idiot. It's not quite like that. I am practicing. I would like to receive more training. I am really just an amateur. I have very little time and no accreditation to speak of. She looked up at she looked up at me from her hooves. You're not you're not messing with me, are you? I am not messing with you, Mothy, I sighed. You are one of the only ponies who knows the truth of this. I have misled you and done wrong by you. I would I would make amends. I think maybe we both screwed up here, but no harm, no foul, I guess? I nodded, but had to ask. I would very much like to remain friends. I extended a hoof to her. Yeah, yeah, I think I need to think about all this, but yeah, I think we can do that. She shook my hoof for a long minute, looking at me, then drew me in, her lips meeting my own. There was a torrent of emotion. Oh no. Oh, 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 hold on. Stop it. Stop. I couldn't scroll down any further. Mouthy. Oh, oh. out of distractions. Very sad now. Hey, don't be too sad. You did a very good job. You extended this chapter out to like 4 weeks. There was a torrent of emotion. I could feel it, but I could not taste it, could not sense it inside me. It was there, then gone, as if it had never been. She drew back, looking embarrassed, but quite pleased with herself at my shock. And if you ever, and if you ever can, maybe invite me back? With that, she rushed out the door, hanging open behind her. Ugh. With that, she rushed out, the door hanging open behind her. That had not gone out as expected. I had not done what was. Stop going all the way over there. I need you to be all the way over here. Please. Oh. With that, she rushed out, the door hanging open behind her. That had not gone as expected. I had not done what I expected. In truth, I never thought I could, and what Moth Chaser had just done, it had certainly revealed the truth of my inability to feel her interest. I was colorblind in my own way, apparently, and I was exhausted. There was too much to consider. All duties done, I climbed into my own bed, flipped the damp pillow over, and fell into sleep. As always, I did not dream. The if you can maybe invite me back kinda needs to be a thing where she's forcing it all out in a moment. Oh! Okay. But you're adding a pause. Oh, maybe invite me back as a. Maybe invite me back? How's that for compressed? if you ever can, maybe invite me back. Talk as loud and quick as possible. Ah, there we go, and I can just cut that up so it looks nice later. And I finished perfectly on time. Let's go. 60% of the time, it works every time. Let's go. Woo! And this chapter will probably be released sometime next year. Who knows? Ah, man. The next chapter, Out of Her Shell, is going to be coming to a live stream near you eventually. I can't promise next week because I don't want to break promises, so I'm going to say eventually. A first for this stream in a very long time. Absolutely. But yeah. How dare we? Oh man. That was some fun. Glad I was able to get it out. Looking forward to the end of this chapter on New Year's Day. Oh, 100%. That's going to be a fun stream. Although we never usually record on New Year's Day because we just party too hard. Oh man, any hoozles. I probably should go eat some lunch real quick. But thank y'all for hanging out with me and distracting me, hearing my ramblings and whatnot. Just expect a chapter soon. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, y'all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.